you may have experienced in the past year or so, maybe longer, some of the national fundraising platforms, GoFundMe, Charity Navigator, a number of different of the platforms have created donation pages or links for nonprofits without getting their consent. And so we've seen this happening across different platforms, smaller and larger. There are huge issues with this, obviously. If you don't know that they are collecting donations for you, how can you ensure that you are getting those donations? Oftentimes they are using old contact information, old logos, may have old, essentially they're scraping the available information on nonprofits and creating these links or whole fundraising pages, which look to an outsider who may just Google your organization or may be on that platform and want to get more information about a nonprofit and then think that they can give through that platform, and it may not be one that you have authorized. So National Council of Nonprofits with the state associations, including the Alliance for Nonprofit Impact, have put together a ethical principles for online fundraising platforms, and would like for you to take a look at those, endorse them if they are things that you feel like you can endorse. We are trying to pressure those platforms to adopt these principles. The basic one is nonprofit consent, that they should not have any sort of fundraising link or page that presumes to raise money for you if they haven't gotten your official consent to do so. Also, we want to make sure that there's transparency, that donors clearly understand how much of their gift made through that platform goes directly to the nonprofit and what fees are taken out of that. Some of the platforms have had like really high tips, so like 15% tip, beyond just like the normal credit card fee that you have with all platforms. Donors should understand, like, if that tip, is that going to the platform or is that going to you? They may want to give you a tip, but they may not want to give the fundraising platform a tip of 15%. And so there needs to be transparency there. And that they also need to treat nonprofits as partners and not as something to be monetized. Like, they should not be making money off of us. And right now, most of them are looking at this as a revenue generating process for themselves. And so that's not, so their top of mind is that, and not supporting and serving nonprofits. The last thing is just accountability, that they are need to be accountable to the same fundraising legislation that you all are. I reached out to Charity Navigator when I found out that they had donation links on there, and they said, well, we're not doing fundraising, so we don't have to abide by Rhode Island state law. I'm like, well, you have a donation link on there for United Way, and you have one for all these other Rhode Island nonprofits. That's fundraising. So we would ask that you take a look at the principles, endorse them if you feel like you can. I would also check on multiple fundraising platforms to see if there is a profile for your organization there. If you want to keep it, that's great. You need to take ownership of that to make sure that it has the correct information and it's not having information that is not accurate for you, and that they are, we also want to make sure that they are releasing the funding within 30 or 60 days, so that if a donor makes a gift, it makes it to you quickly and doesn't just sit in the account of the fundraising platform. If you have experienced issues with any fundraising platforms, if you can please let us know. We are trying to work with the State Attorney General's office to ensure that nonprofits are not experiencing any fraud, any consumer protection issues, or any other issues related to these platforms. So if you have had any issues with them, if you could let us know. The one thing to know is that you can request that these platforms take down your profile if you have not authorized it. Unfortunately, right now, the process can be complicated and sometimes requires you to put in your private information in order to request that it be taken down. And that is also something that we are asking them to stop doing. You should be able to ask them to take it down without putting in your banking information. Like, the whole point is that you don't want to be part of this. And so just please be cautious as you are doing that. If you have issues, please contact me, and I can also work with the State Attorney General's office. The last thing is that there is a lot of things happening around voter engagement coming up, with the primaries coming up in September. Just a reminder, nonprofits are allowed to do nonpartisan voter engagement and education and voter registration. So you are still allowed to do that. We have a session coming up on August 28th with the Secretary of State's office about going over what you are allowed to do. So we will, that is open. I think Robin just put it in the chat. We also have United Way is sponsoring a Strong Rhode Island Gubernatorial Forum on August 26th, so you're welcome to participate in that as well. We are going to put that in the follow-up email. And National Voter Registration Day is September 15th. We would love to have you celebrate that, even just putting a post in your social media about it. If you would like some free swag, you can register with Nonprofit Vote by August 31st, and they'll send you some free swag, like register to vote QR code stickers, posters, things like that. We will include that in the follow-up as well. So the most important thing, obviously, is this OMB decision. Please connect individually with Amy if you have not already done so, particularly if you receive funding from one of the kind of less frequent federal agencies. She would love to talk to you about that. But if you do receive anything that is that raises questions for you or for your board on a federal level, they are available for you and an amazing resource. I wanted to also let you know that we are also, I just got a small grant to work with Roger Williams School of Law, their pro bono collaborative, to put together basic compliance resources. So beyond, Amy and Kevin are your rapid response resource for anything federal. But in terms of kind of basic resources about overall general compliance, we are going to be developing those with the Roger Williams School of Law. That is important because on the federal level, we want to make sure that every nonprofit, it has all their ducks in a row, just kind of on a regular compliance basis. So they're not going to nitpick and find something that will cause them to do something harmful to you. So we are going to be working together with the School of Law on that. So any questions on any of that? Is there anything else that would be helpful to you all in the things you are experiencing, whether federal, whether policy or not, things that the Alliance could be helpful with? If there are, please reach out and let us know. Also, if you haven't renewed your membership in the Alliance, please do that. We have migrated to a new system. The membership is still free through a grant from the Bar Association, but you need to go in there and kind of claim your scholarship membership. So please do that if you haven't done that. We have folks, you can just write to Alliance at United Way RI if you need the directions to do that. We can facilitate that for you. Okay? So thank you so much. Please reach out if you have any questions.